I've been asked for my Quaker perspective on the Church of England appointment of a woman, Sarah Mullally, as the Archbishop of Canterbury. And a friend of mine asked, GB News have said that this is another example of the Church of England indulging in contemporary politics rather than concentrating on religion. And of course, this is the point that I make in my videos and on my channel about Quakers. So the first thing I would say is I think it is political, fundamentally, since the ordination of women, which has threatened to split the Anglican Church. It is clearly a political decision in some respects, but one that I don't really have any problem with. I think it's an inevitable process. Once the ordination has happened, you're just waiting for the day that this is going to happen. So good luck to her and all the best to her. As well as a political point, though, I think it's making a theological point, and one that Quakers are very happy with, to see the equality between men and women and the equal ability of each to fulfil these roles. So I don't think that's an issue. The one point that I do want to make, though, is that I think Sarah Mullally has a unique perspective now to make an impact on wider society. And much as you might think that like a Labour government is able to push through welfare reforms, or a Conservative government can raise business taxes, perhaps it can push more easily at its own supporters. There is potentially something that we could see here, perhaps seeing some sense of restraint on progressivism. You know, I think one of the things that this lanyard class that some people talk about, that Sarah Mullally is a perfect example of, maybe she could just speak to this whole left-leaning progressive audience who will be listening out for what she has to say. She might just be able to say, well, look, there are some boundaries and borders worth fighting for. There are women's rights, for example, that is worth fighting for. There are borders in relation to immigration that is worth putting some limits on. And that it's not a good idea to go around calling everybody racist who you don't agree with. So she could have a particular perspective here and a particular impact on the wider debate, which I would be very glad to see.